The Texas Chainsaw Massacre game is getting very close to release, and it's because of that I have to sincerely ask the DBD community not to ruin this game with never-ending complaining about balance. Let's take a quick look at where DBD ended up after so many years of relentless complaining from the community. The game is much more competitive now than it ever was before. It has skill-based matchmaking. Players are DCing at the slightest inconvenience. Fun mechanics have been entirely removed from the game for the sake of balance, and in the end, it still mostly has the same annoying balance issues it had anyway. That's why we, the DBD community, because I'm guilty of this too, should not complain about balance in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Let it be a party game, or at least let it be more casual. The killers don't need to 4K every match, and the survivors don't need to escape every match. I know people are competitive, but taking this game too seriously is the fastest way to get annoyed with it.
Again, there was also a question about leaderboards. Is there going to be leaderboards? Again, no, because that, again, leads into a type of game that this isn't. It isn't a game about, look, I'm the best. This game is, I'm having fun with my friends. I'm making new friends. There's a lot of people in chat here that I've seen their names many times because they're OG from Friday. And there are a lot of people in there that made lifelong friends in that game. And I think it's because of the type of games that Gun makes, is that it creates that type of camaraderie. And what we don't lean into is the competitive side of it, because it starts to breed a different type of player. It's not one that's right or wrong. It skews off of friendship sometimes. It starts to create a different atmosphere that doesn't fit into what I think the game's supposed to be, or even the IP itself. You know, when you watch Friday the 13th, when you watch Texas Chainsaw, you're with your homies sitting in a basement like this, eating popcorn and talking about what would you have done if you were in that situation, right? We make games that answer that question. That's the point of this. We don't make games to say, I'm better than you, right? It's a vibe difference, and it's what we do at Gun, and I hope you guys appreciate those types of games. It's the kind of games that we like to play. We like to laugh. We like to cut up with each other. And we think when you create a sandbox in a game that allows for that type of environment, people walk away from it, having water cooler moments that they talk about and laugh with their friends later. And I think that's a more powerful connection than, ha, I'm better than you.
In the technical test, I already saw cringelords flaming their teammates for not being tryhard enough. This is exactly the type of behavior and thinking that leads to things like skill-based matchmaking getting added to the game. Do you really want more skill-based matchmaking? Now that said, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre devs have been very open about certain balance changes they want to make from the technical test, with changing some map elements to get rid of infinites and things like that. So ridiculously broken aspects of the game will still be addressed. I'm more referring to meta complaints. I know it can be tempting too. I could easily complain about Wells being too strong for Survivor or whatever, but it just doesn't matter. It's not the point of the game. The point is to have fun, not to win. If you don't grasp that design philosophy, I think you're going to find the game extremely frustrating when you play it.
And fun is the most crucial piece of this, right? Is the thing I want you to take away from this is the game's supposed to be fun. The game's not supposed to be competitive. Right? That's not the point of the game. The point of the game is get in and have a blast and feel like you're living in the world of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's the point.
If you look back at Gun's last game, Friday the 13th, at a certain point after the game was out for a while, the survivors would gang up on Jason and bully him so hard that the game basically became a joke. Then they had an update and added a rage mechanic so that Jason was actually formidable again. So they addressed a fundamental flaw with the game all by themselves, not with some plaster fix that doesn't do anything in the long run. Yet I know as I'm saying this, the complaints about balance are going to flood in shortly after launch no matter what. This game is killer-sided, this game is survivor-sided, this character is OP, blah blah blah. So again, ask yourself, do you want another hyper-competitive asymmetrical horror game? If you don't, then just don't complain, and also don't engage with the complaining, whether it's just a salty Reddit thread, a Twitter post, or even a YouTube video. Now, if you do want a hyper-competitive asymmetrical horror game, just stay on DBD. I'm gonna keep playing DBD as well, but I know now that if I feel to play a more casual game, I have that alternative with Texas Chainsaw, and I hope it stays that way. I also hope other content creators don't sweat the fun out of the game, making every meta video possible on how to be as try-hard as imaginable, but let's be honest, that's never gonna happen.
I would rather play a game that's more competitive. There's probably a game on the market you can do that. And there'll probably be a lot more. And that's what's the beauty of the video game industry is there are a lot of different games to choose from. You've got a lot of options and different games can all coexist on the market. I know I have people coming to me asking me, what do you think about this game or that game? And don't you think of that game as a competitor? No, there's not a single game on the market right now that's a competitor, because you're all playing games and that all pushes the industry forward. You know, we want to see more horror games. I've said it 100 times. I'm always the biggest cheerleader when new horror games or old horror games are adding new content or trying to push the genre forward. I'm always going to be there cheering it because it makes it better for all of us. Like for devs, for players, it's all in the effort of trying to push the thing forward.
So in the end, it's up to what the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre community decides to do. Honestly, I would look to collectively shame anyone who tries to make the game too competitive, not in an aggressive way, but more in like a, why are you wearing a headband and wristbands to a game of Clue? You know, lightly shame them for just being kinda cringe. Also, to be clear, I'm not saying not to try to win or anything stupid like that. I'm just advocating for a more casual environment where you don't get called a slur for picking a non-meta character. Obviously, at the end of the day though, it's your money, your choice, and you can do whatever you want. This was just my 2 cents on it. Let me know where you stand on this. Are you already planning to form an esport team? Be honest, comment below, and as always, thanks for watching and have a good one.